Good evening, welcome once again. This is Tuzu Kumalo, reporter here in Johannesburg, coming to you live and discussing things that are happening across Africa as per my promise. We are going to be talking about the war in Sudan, which is devastating lives. They're quite disturbing scenes that are coming out of Sudan there from the human rights organizations and aid organizations that are coming there. They're saying the situation is dire. The situation needs the world to focus on Sudan. The situation needs that war to end so that the people suffering ends there. Quite a lot of people in trouble there coming out of Sudan. The news is that about over 10 million people have been displaced, both internally and some of them have even fled the country. I mean, we're talking of a war that started last year in April, and it's almost a year now. We've got over 10 million people who have left their homes. We're talking of people who are now homeless, people who are on the run, people who have to protect themselves in this cold weather, whether it's hot or it's cold. They are there and trying to survive, trying to save themselves. Quite a disturbing situation. The 10 million people, that's quite a big number. But in addition to that, reports out of Sudan are saying about 20 million people again that are facing starvation, starvation. They are in serious need of food and aid, but to make matters worse, we are told that even the aid that's being delivered there is being hijacked by some of these fighters, being looted by some of these fighters, which is quite a disturbing situation indeed when so many people are starving. These are children, these are women, these are defenseless people who are suffering, who are victims of these greedy people that are fighting here. And on top of that, they are made to starve, which is quite a disturbing situation coming out of Sudan. There we know that in the West Darfur, this is where the fighting has been taking place more, but of course it is spreading across even up to the state of Al Jazeera there. The fighting is heavy there, but what is becoming more and more evident is that the humanitarian situation is now out of control. There is now need for this war to come to an end so that these people can get assistance and can get food. And of course, the human rights organizations and defenders reporting that the abuse, sexual abuse of women and children is increasing each and every day. They are becoming victims by these fighters, which is quite disturbing indeed. A situation that needs the world to stand up and look at Sudan and try and find solutions as soon as possible so that women and children are saved from all this suffering. But also, the other challenge that's coming out of Sudan is that the health facilities, the hospitals, the clinics are being attacked, which means those people that are injured in war, I'm talking about civilians, not those that are fighting, the civilians that are injured in those wars, they have no hospitals to go to. The children that are sick because of malnutrition, there are no hospitals to go to. So it's quite a devastating situation. Imagine, I can just imagine what's happening to the lives of those youngsters, to the lives of those women who are sick, who are injured, and they cannot get assistance in hospital. In addition to that, they are hungry, they have no food because of the fighting. So quite a situation there in Sudan that needs the world to act and stand up and act while there is still time to do so, so that it's not if we're done that. Already it's a year gone and these people in this situation, so it's time for people to act. So human rights organizations, civil society organizations have come together and made a call to the European Union to try its best to do everything it can to assist them. And of course, other African countries, other African bodies also to stand up and do something there. They want a few things on top of the list: the humanitarian aid to be increased and to people to ensure that it reaches the people that are meant to get it during these times of war, and of course for it to be guarded so that it's not looted by these fighters, and also that the war itself comes to an end. So they are calling on all those that can have influence on the leaders of Sudan, the fighters of Sudan, to sit them down, to ask them to stop this madness so that at least there is a way forward, there is peace for the citizens of Sudan. They can return to their homes and rebuild, and school children can return to school and start learning and do what they should do as children, not be affected by the decisions of these adults who have failed to sit down and reason and make sense to each other, so that there is peace there in Sudan. So as the world focuses on Gaza, focuses on Ukraine and other places where there's fighting, these organizations are saying, please don't forget Sudan. Sudan is also in fire, and Sudan needs the world to attend to the situation so that there is once more peace in that place. Tuso Kumalo here in Johannesburg. Bye for now.